Hey, good evening. This is Tony Schaefer, your Kernel of Truth, and today is the anniversary, the 15th of February of 2016, the 10-year anniversary of my testimony before the House Government Reform and Oversight Committee regarding an operation called Able Danger. Notably, the purpose of that hearing was to find out why people are retaliated against as whistleblowers for telling the truth. So, tonight's theme is obviously accountability. Uh, it's very clear to me that people who are willing to follow their oath of office have a very difficult task before them. Um, it's been a difficult 10 years. I've discussed this with my friend Jerry Doyle on his radio show. I posted the interview via Epoch Times and with an article talking about the 10-year challenges, the things I've had to go through and work through to essentially get my life back together. It's never an easy thing. I would do it again today if I had to. I think the truth and loyalty to the oath of office is more important than taking a cushy job somewhere or doing things which I think would not be proper, would be inimical to the best interests of our country and accountability in the intelligence community and the Pentagon. So I stand by the choices I made. I'm very proud of the fact that a lot of you who are my fans, who are my friends, who are my family have all stuck with me. And I am very proud of the fact that I had a 30-plus year career, and I continue to do things as best I can to protect and defend the Constitution of the country to the best of my ability. So I don't want to dwell on Able Danger much more than to say that Able Danger was a missed opportunity, to say the least. It was an offensive series of operations planned against Al Qaeda, the planning of which started the full 2 years before 9/11. Able Danger was essentially a range of options for Special Operations Command to go after Al Qaeda. We recognized during the intelligence phase of the operation that Al Qaeda had sleeper cells right here in the United States. And within the context of the Able Danger collection, the operational review and preparation, we discovered two of the three cells which conducted the 9/11 attacks. Louis Freeh, the director of the FBI, said in a Wall Street Journal article that had he had the information that Able Danger possessed, the intelligence information, he feels he could have prevented the 9/11 attacks. This will be posted on my Facebook page shortly, so everybody can go look at that tomorrow morning probably. So, with that said, why do people deviate from the truth? Why do they not do the right thing? And so much of it has to do with politics, with accountability only to themselves. And I think that's what the story of Able Danger is. It was an operation which was ready to go. It could have been implemented, and arguably, I believe it would have prevented the 9/11 attacks. Why did it not work? Well, first off, the intelligence information was essentially destroyed. Lawyers said that certain individuals within the database were here legally. All the 9/11 hijackers were here legally. They were essentially on green cards or on visas, which allowed them legal status. So therefore, lawyers said, you cannot look at these individuals. That was the first mistake. Secondly, we attempted to pass the information to the FBI and were thwarted again by the lawyers. And why was this all important? Well, part of it was important because of the Jamie Gorelick memo. The Jamie Gorelick memo was policy under the Clinton White House to not share law enforcement information with the intelligence community and not share intelligence information with the law enforcement community. I think that was another key factor in the loss. And third was essentially the politicians who essentially were ignoring credible information, credible intelligence that there was a threat, that Al Qaeda was serious about launching operations. A number of folks were clearly warning about this. And what was different regarding Able Danger is it wasn't just warning, it was an operational capability designed to essentially kill Al Qaeda, and that's the truth of it. There's certain elements of Able Danger which are still beyond top secret. Those things will probably remain beyond top secret for the indefinite future. There's reasons why. I support those reasons. I think that it's the right thing to do at this point. Congress has never heard the full story about what happened in Able Danger, so I think that's one of the things that the American public, I think, will eventually be told. There's several reasons why they haven't. Again, I support those reasons. I think there's still some accountability issues which also go along with the Able Danger issue. But why are we talking about accountability? Well, notably, President Bill Clinton had a number of shots to take out bin Laden, and arguably that would have been another way of stopping the 9/11 attacks, the covert actions which were authorized. Able Danger was not targeting bin Laden per se. Able Danger was targeting the global network. We were both identifying it, we were mapping it, we were preparing for a number of offensive options to go after them. And so basically, CIA had the head; they were going after bin Laden. We were looking at the body, and I believe we were looking at the body for longer-term resolution of the whole issue regarding Al Qaeda, the roots of Al Qaeda, such as the Muslim Brotherhood and things like that. Those were all being looked at. So here we are, 10 years later, after the fact, after I had testified. Tomorrow, the 16th of February, is the anniversary of my testimony before the House Armed Services Committee, which I'll be posting the testimony on my Facebook page. You all can see that later. But accountability is the theme. So recognizing some of the factors we've talked about so far, there was a failure of policy, not of intelligence, regarding the 9/11 attacks. And those who perpetrated the failure, those who allowed the failure, who destroyed data, who did not share data, those folks were never held accountable. They skated. Most of them were promoted. Many of them still serve in government today, and it's a complete travesty. And I think those who failed, shame on them. I think to quote a certain former Secretary of State, there's a special place in hell for them, and I don't believe for a minute that they deserve to be in service of this nation because of their failures, because of their personal and professional failures, and that's just the way it is. So let's move on to someone else who I believe has failed professionally, and that is Miss Clinton. My last Kernel of Truth talked about Miss Clinton's magic box. Let's bring back the chart from last time. I think it's very important to go through this just a little bit again. All right, so Able Danger was about accountability regarding, my hearing was about accountability, about failures of bureaucracy. The same symptoms, the same individuals and their attitudes regarding the complete, utter disregard for intelligence, for what was required to do, is now emblematic in Ms. Clinton and her position regarding her server, because we know at this point that intelligence information was compromised through a number of sources. I am now convinced, based on the sources I've talked to who were there during the period inside the government, that the Chinese and Russians both have copies of whatever was on Miss Clinton's magic box, her server. So one of the reasons I want to talk about this tonight is accountability. I've done everything I can within my power to account for the mistakes I made. Look, there's no doubt I'm not passing everybody out, saying that I was pure in the Able Danger thing. I should have pushed harder to do a number of things, to include trying to get the information to the FBI. I failed. That'll be something I always live with. So, but I tried, and I wish I could go back and do it again. It would be different. With that said, those who are now in power, or I should say were during the time of Ms. Clinton's time in office, they were handled classified information with utter disregard. They were not true to their oath of office. They were not true to the protocols necessary to protect information. So one of the things I wanted to bring up tonight that is a complete fallacy and should be the key to the accountability of Ms. Clinton is the magic box itself. The server, her private server, which served as the backbone of her private network. Huma Abedin and others, Miss Mills, Miss Clinton, and a few others had their personal emails sent through this. And the moment, let me be clear on this, the moment a classified document touches that server is classified. It's automatic. That's the way it works. So that's one of the reasons there is, let me point out, no legal authority, zero, for having a personal private server that you use for your official government business. Not authorized. Not ever. Not before Miss Clinton. Not during Miss Clinton's time in. And not after. So anytime she says, quote unquote, it was authorized, no. There is absolutely no law, no regulation, nothing in anything in any federal registry which allows for someone to do that. So fundamentally, every time I talk to folks, I've talked to my lawyer, Mark Zaid, about, well, I'm not sure if there's enough to indict. Really? Well, the fact that she had a server that we now know had classified information and she violated federal regulations and federal law, I think that's probably grounds for something. Now, again, let's keep in mind here that we're talking about highly sensitive information being passed on a real-time basis between thousands of people. And now we know that certain information was in there about special access programs. I'm told that we're going to see some more about some of the human intelligence violations she had. It's all coming. There's more coming. So what we need to understand is that it's not legal, not remotely legal. But the key here is this. During the time that she was in, she violated with impunity the laws and regulations which govern the information. So the foundational issue of Miss Clinton's wrongdoing is just the server. If you accept that fact that there is no legal authority, zero, for, the server to exist and have information on it, then that's the starting point, and that's the place that you should start regarding an indictment or accountability. Now, let's take a step back. Why is this related to Able Danger? It's related to Able Danger by the fact that the same basic crew who ignored the Able Danger warnings are now, with impunity, trying to get away with a lot of stupid stuff they did regarding violation of regulations and compromising intelligence information. These people just don't care. They've never cared. They don't care now. They won't care in the future. So anyone who accepts this is the standard, accepts a great deal of threat, of potential bad things happening to the nation because of the stupidity and arrogance of these people. Now, the answer here should be, as many of you have talked about regarding posts on my page and other things that I've talked about and had conversations with, is that Miss Clinton and her ilk need to be held accountable. For my troubles regarding accountability, I think we're done with this. Obviously, please post any questions or send me emails or whatever on this if you have questions about it, but I think this is pretty clear. The accountability overlap issue regarding Ms. Clinton's server and Able Danger is fundamentally, again, accountability. For me coming forward, they were able to dig up 3 allegations against me, which were used to revoke my security clearance. And it's really funny because the same 3 allegations the Army looked at and dismissed, and I was promoted to lieutenant colonel. I know that's a great irony, but that's how badly certain folks came after me. It's how desperate they were to get me on something. And I won't bother to go through those things. Those things, the allegations are contained in my testimony that I'll be posting tomorrow morning. And it'll be available on my Facebook page, and it's available on abledangerblog.com. My friend Mike Casper runs that. He'll probably get some traffic off of this. But the bottom line is this: accountability. It's not for just those who are on the line doing the hard work of defending the country. It's for the politicians who really are more concerned about self-aggrandizement and self-promotion than doing the right thing for the nation. This is all about power. This is all about those politicians seeking power. It was about that before, during the time of Able Danger. Politicians and other bureaucrats made decisions which they thought would be best for them to minimize their exposure to doing something risky, like stopping Al-Qaeda. And now we have the same thing again. We have the same arrogance coming into focus regarding the server issue and other things which will go with it. And mark my words on this. Make no mistake on this. Anyone who is that arrogant regarding the issue of a server, who thinks that they can with impunity decide what they believe to be correct regarding the protection of highly sensitive information, they will do that again, and especially in the case of Ms. Clinton, because again, the Clinton White House was the White House I was serving under during the ramp up of Able Danger. And again, we had clear and concise intelligence regarding what was about to happen. We didn't know all the pieces. All the pieces were never put together, and that's part of the problem. We had too many agencies doing too many things, and that diversity of information and the disregard of sharing was one of those factors which resulted in the failure, as well as the Gorelick memo preventing the sharing of law enforcement information with intelligence folks and vice versa. But it's the same disease. So that's what you all, I think, need to understand, is that the Clinton server issue is not simply about a senior level politician having her own private server somewhere off campus. It's much more severe than that. It talks about an utter disregard for what is necessary to keep information secure, what is necessary to protect the secrets and our operations of our nation. And frankly, it tells me everything I need to know regarding the character of the individuals. Character counts. leadership counts. And I'm sorry, Ms. Clinton completely lacks leadership. She has not held herself up to accountability here. She continues to dodge it. And the more we know about what was on that server, the more I think we all need to be concerned about what would happen one way or another with she or the folks who were involved in the server issue if they come to power again. This is no small issue. So anyway, that is my kernel of truth for this week. I am open to suggestions of things you all want to talk about, so please feel free to leave a note on my YouTube page or contact me via Facebook or other ways. So anyway, hey, thanks for your attention. I look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Bye.